Welcome to another Two Photo Nuts episode of I'm Bob.
And I'm Clinton.
And we're back for season 2. Do you think we'd make it to season 2?
More than likely.
Really?
We're always on.
Always somewhere. All right, can you guess what topic is today we're going to have?
Bags?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it, bags. No, actually very good. Because I was going to say, no, we're going to discuss 350 common errors photographers make.
I don't want to be here all night.
It's a marathon show. No, I'm just kidding. What we're going to discuss, we're going to start off with tripods. We have a lot of tripods sitting on the table here. So when you buy a tripod, what do you look for?
Cheap.
Cheap.
What?
So what did this one cost you?
$17.99 Value Village, still in box.
Still in box. Isn't that interesting?
Very. I think I sold it to the guy because it still had London Drugs tape on it.
I'm not even going to go there. All right, so let's discuss, before we hit tripods, what to look for, what you may want to know about tripods. Let's discuss why use a tripod. Why do you use a tripod?
Prolonged exposures.
That's one reason. So when you say prolonged exposure, we're talking less than 1/60th of a second? Is that when you start finally putting it onto a tripod?
It really depends on my light situation.
Usually, for me, anything under 40th, I start looking for a tripod. I know if I'm doing painting with light or starscapes, things like this, I'm going to be on a tripod. So it's coming with me. Now, when you go out to shoot, do you always take a tripod?
9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Unless I'm being told I'm going for a walk, in which case I'm told to leave the camera at home. And I usually take my small camera as a compromise.
Okay. We have more than one camera?
I have 3.
It actually shocks me. I figured you might have just one, but yeah. Okay. No, I'm in the same boat. Well, I'm down to 4. I got my eye in 2 more. That's so sad.
Photo nut.
Got my eye in a couple more. What crazy. Okay, so we've got several tripods here. So let's start at your side. Why would you use that tripod that's in front of you?
I'll start with the little optics there. This is a little T17. He's a great, literally a tabletop tripod. You're out at a picnic, want to do a group shot, need a bit more height. He's great for sitting on the table, sitting on a stump. Gets your camera out of the dirt, out of the ground, and gives you a little more elevation. And believe it or not, they actually do have a fair bit of range to them. The other nice thing with this one as well, I'm not sure you can see it very well, but it's also got a suction cup, so it can actually stay fairly stable on a metallic or glass surface.
Very handy, very light, can fit into your bag very quickly. Again, awesome little tripod. I often use it to hold my flashlight when I'm doing macro photography.
Yeah, and that's another use for them as well. Quick release plate on the top, beautiful for flash photography.
Yeah, no, absolutely, great place to hang a little flash photography. Again, it does the same thing. The top piece will fold over at 45 degrees, flip over. So you've got all sorts of little adjustments. It works the same. Those legs extend. Not much, but they do extend.
Half an inch.
Yep. So, and price on something like that?
They can range between $34 to $44 for a decent one. You can get cheap ones for the $5 or $10 range. Secondhand, $3 to $4 if you do garage stuff.
We're going to go to Value Village again.
Why not?
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. That's a good way of doing it. So the Joby in front of you, why would you want a Joby?
The GorillaPods are really versatile in the sense, as you can see, it's fairly flexible. So it can actually wrap around trees, branches, fences, and actually give you a really interesting perspective. You can actually attach it to something vertical or horizontal. And the fact is you can actually put it amongst rocks and whatnot, not have to worry about it too much.
Okay, just a word of advice.
Yes.
When you go like this, you're off camera. We're only on a single camera. But yeah, no, it's an awesome device. Price on these ones are
$34 and up.
Yeah, 34 and up. And they come in multiple sizes. So this one's basically for a full-size DSLR. They do come in a smaller version as well for your point-and-shoot cameras and things like this.
And they also come in magnetic versions.
Do they come in a magnetic variant?
They do, yes.
Oh, cool. Again, and it's just fun to play with for you.
Keep you entertained.
Put it back. I think I've got a couple of those. Again, if I'm doing small, little jobs, I tape my lights to them again. Again, you know, great idea. Put the flash on top of it there. You know, it's light. It's easy to throw into a bag. The bag's getting heavier and heavier all the time. All right, so now we've got 3 different tripods with 3 different types of heads in front of us. So, Value Village, come with a head?
Yes. This is
We actually have those. Didn't come with that head, did it?
It did.
Really?
Yes. New, this tripod was about $129 to $139. This is in the Valbon CX family, which is now the Sherpa family. The head that comes with it is an actual fluid video head, which is one reason why I couldn't resist picking it up for 20 bucks. The only complaint I have with it are these support bars in the middle here. They actually offer quite a bit of restriction, but again, for a cheap tripod that actually does a fair bit, I have no complaints on him. And the best part is he's surviving me. The last one didn't.
So one of the things we're going to discuss later on, like we have on this one, we have the little tags that flop out,
Yep.
which is kind of good. One of the things I notice on these that you don't have is the little spikes at the bottom. So this is a good place to start.
Exactly.
Okay, so but it's a big tripod. So if I look at this one, it does go up. It's got the little handle on it that will drive it up and things like that. And unfortunately, we can't stick it out in front and show you how big it is. But if you drop by Len the Drugs, we'll explain more to you there. One of the things that's a great little tripod. But one of the things I kind of like is now these are available, and I like to consider these as a travel tripod. Look at the size of that, and then look at the size. If we I'll hold this up, and you look at the difference between the size of those two. That's a huge difference when you're traveling and you're limited on space. One of the things I want to point out on this one, it does fold out, and the legs fold out. These have the flippers. These have individual ones. The reason this is handy, I can grab all these with my big hand, and I can undo them all in one shot. So that's one of the things that's amazing about these, and I'm probably off the screen with this puppy. It's not a very heavy tripod. It's pretty light. One of the things I noticed.
Oh, here's the aluminum one.
Yeah, here's the aluminum one. Yeah. One of the things I did notice that you don't have on yours. What would we use this for?
Wait, just for the record, I did have one. It broke.
Oh, did you? Okay. So I can actually take my bag, or there's actually a basket you can purchase, but anything with some weight, anything with a little strap on it, you can put on there.
I use my cannonball.
Carry a cannonball with it?
If I need the extra weight, yeah, then a 5-pound cannonball, great for throwing at things too.
Okay, so that's extra weight in my bag I want to take. So my bag can actually go in there. Now this has a totally different type of head. So this is a ball head. Yours is basically a video head.
Correct.
So how many adjustments do you have on that one that you have to play with?
1, 2, and I have a third if I want
Flip
to.
that around so they can see it. Can you see? Hopefully they can see that.
One here, one here. The bottom one is for the twisting, which is beautiful. And the top one is for my horizontal and vertical. Now I'm personally really strange. I actually prefer having 2 or 3 controls versus being a ball head.
Really?
Yes, I hate ball heads.
Okay, so explain to me why you hate ball heads.
When it comes to the photography that I do, I prefer having some form of degree reading. So when I'm doing my panoramics, I can slightly move it instead of looking for a landmark to line it up with. Most of them don't have that.
Really?
Yes.
Everyone I've got has it.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta look now.
I haven't, I can honestly say I haven't seen one without it, so. So again, this is extension. I'm a ball head type of guy. I just find them easier to use. But again, like once you undo it, it's floppy.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of lean towards this, is the tolerances that are there.
It's floppy, and if you're shooting with my Canon and 7200, which is probably 7 pounds of camera gear.
At least.
Yeah, you've got to make sure that things are kind of steady and ready to go, because that thing will flip over pretty quickly on you. On both of mine, I have a level.
So do I.
You have a level on yours?
Somewhere.
Yeah, you have it down there, but you don't have it actually on the tripod head. Now, here's something that I'm going to discuss as well. Hopefully we're not, it's not over my head, so we should be pretty good. So if I'm on a cliff, I can balance out on mine. This is one of the things, if you're doing landscape or things like that, you can actually bend one leg off in a different direction. That one you really can't.
And as I mentioned, that's the only thing I hate about this tripod. But again, $100. This one here was what, $199?
Well, yeah, $150. I believe we have one on
$150.
sale for $150. Again, you've got the rubber pads.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're shooting indoors, you use a rubber pad. If you're shooting outdoors on rocks and things like that, you can very simply get the pads or get the spikes out. So that's another good thing about these ones. I'm presuming that if you're walking around, like with my lays extended, I can also use this as a monopod pretty fairly easy, and I'm presuming that's the same thing if you extend the legs out.
Very similar.
Very similar to the monopod. This comes with this ball head, which I thought was a Tech Pro, which is actually pretty good. I actually like it. And right now, believe it or not, I have my GoPro attachment on that one. So again, with this one, I just love the fact that it becomes a fairly small unit. Now, let's discuss different types of materials.
Mine and that guy there is an aluminum, which is fairly heavy in the onset. The advantage to aluminum, it is fairly resilient to abuse. The downside is it transfers temperatures. If you're on a hot sunny day, leave that thing on the sun, you will get a nice blister if you touch them.
Yeah, they do actually get pretty hot. No point.
Same with mine. So if you are on the sun with an aluminum tripod, try and touch the plastic parts versus the metal, especially if you've abandoned it for, say, gone to have coffee, came back, and then you went to touch it, you will wind up in pain. I'm going to pick on this Milano here. This is...
Go ahead.
Pardon?
Go ahead, pick it up. I'll let you touch my tripod.
This is rolled carbon fiber. One of the advantages of rolled carbon fiber is they do not transfer heat. And I lied, this is a Velva, not a Milano.
Yes.
But it's still rolled carbon fiber. Rolled carbon fiber does not conduct. So in the coldest of the cold or the hottest of the hot, you can always grab the tripod.
Yeah, no, and again, it's got this type of lever. The thing about this one compared to that one is I can adjust these. So if these become loose, I can tighten them up.
$20, $300.
Yeah, easily $300. Yeah, no. Again, a little bit pads on the bottom of it. It does extend out. It's fairly light. It does not come with a head. So when you buy this, now you better go and buy a head. My head, I believe when I bought it 10 years ago, was like $180.
Which isn't bad for a head.
Yeah, which isn't too bad. So this is, again, it's a ball head. It does have
ball heads.
Well, again, I got used to them. I used to try those, and it was like way too many buttons to press and to play with.
Well, you know me, I like pushing buttons.
Yeah, well, the thing about this head, I was going to discuss heads, but I guess we're going to discuss, and don't take it the wrong way, there's a couple locks on here. So for me to put my camera on here, I've got to push this lever in, slide it in, and then I've got another lock that latches underneath.
That's an archetype, right?
Yep. So, which is kind of, again, gives me a little bit more security on it. These ones I don't believe have their...
No, these are what's called a quick release.
Quick release, and
They're
that's...
essentially the popping out. Nothing really to them. You push it in, you push down, it partially secures, and you got to finish up with your own finger. Those ones there, you get it positioned, you tighten her up, and she ain't moving.
Right.
So if you're in the bush, these do have a bad habit of actually popping if you manage to snag them. Luckily for me, I'm paranoid enough as it is, this never comes off my camera, except when I'm doing a TV show.
Actually, you know what? Where is mine? It's on my camera. One of the things I want to mention though, and I'm going to zip over here and I'm going to grab my camera, open my bag up. One of the things I want to mention is the fact that when you are attaching your camera to these, if you've got an attachment on the lens, and I'm going to grab it here in a second, and you've got an attachment where you can screw it on the bottom of the camera, which do you want to use?
Lens,
Why?
balance.
Well, it's not just balance. It's a fact that the lens is fairly heavy and it's pushing down on your mount on the camera. So you want to make sure that it's not going to loosen up or separate or harm your camera in any way.
So you want to take the pressure off of that pinch point.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. In fact, you know what? Because I have mine, I'm going to step out. So you want to hold that up and show them the bottom half. You can see if you move this little finger there, you can see where it's mounted right now because I had my wide angle lens on the last time. But this is where you want to mount it, and this is where you want to make sure it's attached to the tripod, because that's, like I said, the center point, but that's where all the weight's going to be. We do not want to mount the camera. And first off, a lot of times, especially with this one, it's so close, you may not get it in the tripod anyways. But please remember that. I've seen a lot of people actually mount the camera with this type of tripod, with this type of lens from here. And it freaks me out. You want to hear me scream at somebody? I don't care who you are.
And one thing I'm going to mention, the lens, 7200, this is what version 1?
Yes.
This is about 4 pounds.
Yep.
So she's not light. And the unfortunate metal mount inside the metal bracket, you can get a bit of stressing. And eventually, if you keep putting on the camera with the lens, you're going to hear a clicking noise, which is not normal. I guess you haven't seen the repair side, have you?
No, I can honestly say no. One thing you might want to be aware of as well, knob on the side. So with that knob, when it's in the tripod, this sits on the bottom. I can easily, so now I'm no longer worrying about my ball head and making adjustments to my ball head. I can very easily flip 90 degrees very easily. You got something to say? You were pointing at it or something.
Just trying to poke at things.
Trying to poke at things. So there you go. Any final comments on tripods?
If you don't have one, they are an extremely useful tool, and you should definitely look at either borrowing, finding, or picking one up. Just to give you a quick rundown, this little guy here is your $17 to $34 range, 50 to 100. These guys here new, they come in around the $49 to $100 range. 150 to 200, we'll call this one the 200 plus category. So that's your rolled carbon fiber, aluminum, and your small guys.
All right. One other thing I want to discuss, and we don't have it here, is there is a tripod. We have one in the store where the actual, well, something else we failed to discuss on this one. I'm going to cover this one more. This puppy here. The reason I like this is this center pole will pop off. This one just folds up, and now I can get it almost straight down to the ground. This is one of the unique features that I really, really like on this one. The only other type of tripod I would like to have is you have certain tripods that the center scoot will go up and then over so that you can go over top. Oh, your face just lit up. I see you want one too.
Yeah, the Manfrotto 190XB, I believe, is the category for that one.
Yeah.
About $300 tripod. Beautiful for Mac photography because you can get right down low. And the nice thing is when you get it right down, you can actually swing the neck in a 360-degree radius right over top of whatever you want to photograph. Or you can even do it sideways and come right on. It's a beautiful, beautiful tripod. Do you want to buy me one?
Yeah, right. I'll go halfers with you. Yeah, I would love to have one too, but it's kind of like in my next block of things that I'm starting to look for, because this tripod that I have here is almost 10 years old. It's well worn and well beat. I still like it. Still works well. I usually carry it with me I'm sure there are lighter things out there. Okay, so you've got a lot of choices, and for me, if you come in and talk to me, I'm going to confuse you. I'm going to give you lots of choice. If price point is your biggest concern, you might want to go with something like Clinton picked up. Price point is not a concern and weight is a concern, you might want to jump into the $300 bracket and more. So that's kind of the things. If travel is your concern, boy, you can't get much smaller than that. One of the things I've also used and done, trekking sticks, things for hiking. I don't have it here. In fact, I broke mine. There's one out there where the knob will come off in the head. It's got that wooden knobs on it. It's the exact same size as a camera.
Yeah.
So if you want to keep things light, if you look at the trekking poles and you can take the top off it, a lot of times that'll fit your camera as well. That's another thing. And it's a monopod, something I didn't bring with me, and I forgot that other tripod. Wow.
This is where I say I don't believe in monopods, and I kind of shy on the corner here.
You don't believe in monopods? I use it for a hiking tool. So for me, it's kind of good. I do have a monopod at home. I'm sorry I didn't bring it with me, and I meant to, where the bottom half splits out into a tripod.
That makes sense. I like that idea. My grievance with monopods is for landscape photographers, for macro photographers, they're very limited in use.
Never work. Never work.
If you are a sports photographer or an action photographer, they're perfect for those kind of photographers. Fortunately for me, I am not into doing live action sports, so a monopod has never really been something I've eyed up. But I will always recommend them for people that are on tracks, ice rinks, that kind of thing, where you need to be mobile and move around and follow the action.
Yep.
Is where they have their huge advantage. Myself, being a landscape wildlife photographer, I prefer a good old-fashioned 30-pound tripod.
30-pound tripod.
Mine's not light.
Oh, 30-pound tripod. Oh, wow. All right. So there you have it. Mostly, do I have anything else to... oh, yeah. The other thing I was talking about, since we get sidetracked again, boy, we get sidetracked quickly.
Ooh, bird.
There he is. Doves in the studio. One of the things, like we said before, when you start doing longer exposures, it's a must for a tripod, but it's not just longer exposures. The other day, last month, I wrote a blog on why you should use a tripod, and I really believe that if you're a beginner, instead of running around and doing the spray and pray, if you were to put it onto a tripod, now you have to think. You're going to take that extra time and you're going to think about whatever shot's going to be. So that's another thing for using a tripod. Whether you buy a Value Village $17.99 tripod, or you go right to the start, go to the top end sort of idea. By using a tripod, it limits you in what you can actually do with the camera.
It does.
It limits where your viewing function is. So you have to settle down, relax, and think about your picture.
One thing I'm going to mention just on buying a tripod secondhand, I mentioned it to Bob earlier. A lot of times when you're looking at garage sales and that, you'll often see You'll often see tripods. Make sure that the plate is still intact and with the tripod. If you see a hole without any of the tackle, do not buy it because it's useless, and oftentimes these little plates can cost as much as a used tripod.
All right, so we gotta go. I want to thank Shaw. Drop by our YouTube channel, drop by our website. Make sure you leave notes. We're looking to think about changing the name because there's not just the two of us anymore, there's a lot of us. We do Hangouts online. Very important to get you out there. If you have questions, drop them off on our website. We have a comment block there in our blog. Check out my blog, whosaidphotography.com. Check out Clinton's on Golden Eagle.
It's down for now.
Thanks, Shaw, for being a welcoming host. We're in their studio once more time. And we'll see you next episode next week. And season 2 has begun. Thanks for watching.
Have a great night.